So if you follow me on this channel, then you probably know that I am a fan of Livette. I think she's been doing an absolutely fantastic job, getting her points across very clearly, very concise, not mincing words, and being very upfront with what she needs to say. I really appreciate her over KJP. Not to say that KJP was a bad person or anything. I think she's doing a much better job than KJP did. So she's talking about the tax cuts that are going to happen in this administration. Now, she doesn't give a timeline, but she says they are the president's immediate priorities. So I'm going to let you hear from her what those priorities are.
So these are the tax priorities of the Trump administration that the president has laid out for members in that meeting today. No tax on tips, which is obviously a very public campaign promise that the
That's a
president
good one.
made. No tax on seniors' Social Security. No tax on overtime pay.
All three of those I agree with. The last one I really agree with. That'll be awesome. You know what I mean? That'll be great for a lot of people.
Renewing President Trump's 2017 middle-class tax cuts. Again, these are the president's priorities. Adjusting the SALT cap, eliminate all the special tax breaks for billionaire sports team owners, close the carried interest tax deduction loophole, tax cuts for Made in America products.
Okay, so tax cuts for American-made products. I didn't hear that the first time I watched this video, but I really like that too. That's really good. Now, there are people in the comments of this video saying they don't understand how this helps your average middle-class Americans. And to that, I would say if you work overtime, I think it obviously helps you. I think it helps you a lot. I'm curious to see how Social Security is going to work. I'm curious to see if people who typically receive money at the end of the year are going to, again, receive money, or if they're going to have to pay in. I'm just kind of curious to see how that'll work. It'll probably stay the same if I had to take a guess. So, yeah, let me know if you agree with these tax cuts and what's been going on. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you like and follow. You know, I'm not saying he's the most truthful person in the world, but I don't think he's lying. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious to tell he's not lying. So let's go ahead and watch this clip.
People have been screaming like they're part of a prison riot. Oh my God, look at what Musk is doing. He's looking at the spending. But you know what? I haven't heard one single person who's upset with President Trump or Mr. Musk talk about what he's found. I tell you who is interested. The American people.
And that's just it. We're going to keep the clip rolling, but man, I feel like that's the one thing that Democrats are looking past right now so hard, and they're not taking an internal perspective and saying, why did we lose the election? Because honestly, if you take a look at social media, they're losing their minds everywhere.
But I'll tell you what Mr. Musk discovered. What the hell happened to all the money? He discovered that the American taxpayers are giving money to Afghanistan. We are giving money to Yemen. We are giving money to Syria. The USAID has 10,000 people, and every year they give away $40 billion. He found that the USAID gave money to support electric vehicles in Vietnam.
So this is the second video on Livette that I've made tonight, but I really think she's a savage. I think this press secretary, this whole team that they've put together, you might disagree with the things that they're doing, but you can't disagree that they're being savage about it, right? Whether you enjoy it or not. So let's go ahead and watch this clip. You'll see what I'm talking about.
Here to the briefing room, I was made aware of the funding from USAID to media outlets, including Politico, who I know has a seat in this room.
She's basically just called them out to their face. They're like, hey, I know you have a seat in this room, and everything I'm about to say is about you specifically.
And I can confirm that the more than 8 million taxpayer dollars that have gone to essentially subsidizing subscriptions to Politico on the American taxpayers' dime will no longer be happening.
Dude, I feel like she's looking at whoever that reporter is. I feel like she's looking at them in the eye when she's saying this. I don't know for sure if that's what's going on, but I feel like that's what's happening right now.
DOJ team is working on canceling those payments now.
I don't think this guy is making as strong of a point as he thinks he's making. When I hear him say this, what I'm hearing is the American tax dollars have been funding so much overseas that not only is unnecessary, and we probably wouldn't agree with if we knew about it, that these countries so heavily rely on it that they will crumble if they don't get it. And that's not something I want to hear as an American. That means it's been going on for a long time, probably since before I was ever paying taxes. You know, I'm kind of a young guy, but a lot of you have been paying taxes for 30, 40, 50 years. You know what I mean? And when you find out this is what your taxpayer dollars have been going to, you don't want to keep funding that. But for some reason, he thinks that when you hear this, you're going to want to keep funding and continue to do this. I'm going to play this clip for you. I think you guys will agree with me on this.
Down. If Elon Musk wins and our foreign assistance completely ends, who will cheer and who will win? The cartels will win, terrorists will win, Russia will win, China will win. This effort is not efficient, it is not sane, it is not respectful, and it does not make America safe.
Okay, so he says it's not sane, it's not respectful, and it doesn't make us safe. So I would heavily disagree. Not only would I heavily disagree, I think fighting the cartel would be something that the United States not only could handle, but we would succeed in.